Hello and welcome into Titan Talks. Why is that so big? That's crazy.
Well, Manny's a guest today.
Manny is back again. I mean, he was on the show on Monday.
He was very animated on Monday.
It appears so, from what I saw. Some old school Hi-Rez ways in the mix there as well.
Chaz doesn't know. Clumsy was literally like army crawling on the ground over to wiggle Manny.
Is the words you'd use.
I think it was Kellen's idea, and then Clumsy just committed to the bit. So, back to normal.
No one cares about money right now. He gets saved for Mondays just in case. Welcome to Titan Talk, though. Pretty much a 3-time-a-week show that we just do. You're going to pull him in anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I would have
just
put him
joking.
back to the one.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I like that. We're good. We're good. Let's just...
Okay. Well, welcome into Titan Talk. This is kind of a recap where we talk to the community about what's going on with the world of SMITE 2 and how things are improving day by day and all the stuff that's been going on. So this week we had Jormungandr release yesterday.
Big day.
It's gone pretty well.
Yeah, I think overall pretty well. Quite a few, smaller bugs that tend to pop up on release day. Usually a bunch of like little edge case things that we didn't track down beforehand. But we've gotten a lot of stuff fixed already.
Yep.
Response, I think, has been pretty good to the update so far. Some feedback about certain things that we may still need to take a look at, but I don't want to lead the audience here. I'd like to hear from you. How do you think things are going?
Feel free to talk to us in chat if you've got any questions or issues you've seen with the update that came out yesterday. Quick recap for you all, just to go over exactly what has been fixed in the last 24 hours since release. The Neath ult targeter appearing stuck over people's heads.
Yep,
that's been fixed.
Yep.
Fixed bots filling casual queues.
So that the Neath, I'll explain them a little bit. So
how did that one happen?
So we've been doing some optimizations, and this was the result of an optimization that basically in optimizing a thing, we removed sending a cleanup to a certain effects that it was expecting, and because no other effects were using this specific thing, so we could remove it and make the game run better, but we didn't realize that it was connected to this one specific thing, so we had to put part of it back in just for that.
So overall, the Neath ult target won't stay stuck over your head if you get hit by a Neath ult. We also fixed bots filling casual queues. Seems to be an issue with AI bots. Was the reason there of it was just backfilling?
It was an issue with the queue configuration. Okay. So basically, when we, it was made to where it wasn't that we were intentionally putting bots into games. What had happened was if somebody was leaving from the match lobby before, they get into lobby, there's 10 players, and then somebody fails to pick a god or disconnects during lobby. Instead of the lobby failing, the queue was configured to replace them with bots.
Gotcha.
And that's not our intent for those queues, but it's just we were making some other queue changes and it accidentally slipped in. So you were never actually being match made with bots. It was just if somebody left, they were backfilling for half a day, but we were able to get that fixed pretty quickly once we realized it was happening. Okay.
We also addressed an issue with Jingwei ult VFX lingering and triggering in Aladdin's lamp.
Yeah, if you ulted in Aladdin's lamp, then every time Aladdin's lamp spawned, it would play the effects like Jingwei's ult was happening there.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't actually it was just the FX. So the FX queue wasn't getting cleaned up because of the way that Aladdin's lamp works. So again, it was just a visual bug, but people were confused and thought that Jingwei was just doing permanent damage in Aladdin lamps. So.
Gotcha. Okay. We also fixed an Ancile, not going on cooldown if passive ability triggers the effect. For example, Yorm stacks burst bonus damage.
Yeah. That was a report we got from the community. Kind of a weird edge case, but we were able to get it fixed pretty quick.
Fix some issues with Yorm and Izanami in terms of their short descriptions. So
Izanami, somehow we had screwed up putting her third and fourth ability text in. So her fourth ability said stealth.
Yep.
Which fourth ability is not stealther. So we got that fixed. And then Yorm, we just had missed his short descriptions and the one-word descriptions. So we got those added pretty quickly.
And Yorm's minimap Angry Face has disappeared if you didn't see it on there, unfortunately. Wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those in the future on other God releases, because it can happen. Fixed Mordred ult from being able to knock up Yorm. Basically, Jormungandr and Mordred had a weird interaction where Mordred would stay in the air, still ulting and dealing damage to Yorm as Yorm just walks away.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That's interesting.
We also fixed an Capri ult not tweening Yorm since he has a hard displacement immunity.
Yeah, so if you were revived by Khepri,
Yep.
instead of being revived at Kepri's location,
just in
you would revive where you had died because you're displacement immune. You can't be moved. It's like, oh, well, okay, I guess we need to put an exception in for Khepri.
Yep. And the last one I've got on this shortlist at the moment is the Daybreak Gavel providing 64-second buff instead of 8-second buff.
Yeah.
8 times 8
is
64. Yeah. And it shouldn't have been times 8. It should have just been 8.
Should have just been 8.
That's really what was going on there. But they have all been fixed already, either between this show going live or yesterday. We will have a couple more of the hotfixes probably coming out through the day. And at the end of the day, we'll tweet out a whole hotfix update of what's been going on.
Yeah, a couple other things just real quick. I know that if you logged in very early yesterday, you might not have gotten boosted wandering market levels.
Yep.
So if you have not relogged since then, if you relog, you should have boosted wandering market levels again because they should be boosted for a period of time or for a number of levels after every update. So we're doing it right now. And then there are some people that got into a weird state where they bought the Bologna Miss Senshi Traveler, but don't have access to the base Bologna Miss Senshi skin.
Yeah.
And I believe we're getting that cleaned up today. So if I'm not sure if it's fixed yet, but it might just be you need to relog and it'll work.
It's on the way is what we can say for the time.
Completely, yeah. So that is something that we're working on. And there's a few other smaller bugs that we're aware of that we're working on.
Yep.
If anybody brings them up, we'll
go through.
Mention them. But I don't like just being like, hey, there's this bug, because then people might abuse it or
no, for sure. Listen, when you know about a bug, you do get a competitive advantage to an extent of knowing the enemy team could do that, but also you could use it in some way as well. I have noticed the blink cooldown one. Have you noticed that? Do you know anything about that? I've not had a chance to speak to Dev just yet.
That is, it's just a typo in the ability tooltip, and that is going to be addressed. That was one of those things that as we were rewriting the ability tooltips, that one was rewritten based on text from an older version of the item, not from the current balance, and we just missed getting the current balance number in there. So
makes sense. It's come from nobody's playing it because it's blink and it should be combat blink 2 now. Oh my god, that's OP. Yeah, but it's not intended.
Yeah. So we're gonna address that.
That makes sense. What do we have in chat now? That's a real question here. Tusky hits people twice. I've not heard that one.
I have not seen that one.
I'll make a note. Get my note list going.
Where can I buy this hat? This hat was, I don't think it's still for sale.
I don't think so.
They were made for the Vegas land, I think.
I believe so. It's just as part of SMITE 2, I believe. But yeah, they were definitely available at the Vegas land.
Yeah. So we're selling merch through a vendor for a little while. The good news, though, is that we have a new merch license that allows anyone who wants to make this hat to do so.
Can go out and make one.
Yeah. Just take the logo and go to your local hat shop and get it made or whatever. So you don't have to give us a share. Just find the cheapest hat of quality that you can. If you're going to sell them, you do have to send us basically fill out a form. Yeah. And say if I sell more than X $1,000, then I'll profit share with you. Yep. But otherwise, you can make whatever merch you want to, as long as it doesn't have questionable things. Sure.
For example, I do know there's a community member that has got the license from us and he's sending us candles. So got specific candles
that's going to be
available. So when they arrive, I'll showcase them real quick. We'll talk a little bit more, but you can go out and make merch using the SMITE IP if you get the license from us.
My wife makes candles.
I don't know why, but it seems very popular that everyone makes candles these days.
It's
cathartic. Is that the reason?
I think so. Yeah. I think that the thing is that people like burning candles, and then it's it'd be cool to make my own, and it's
make your own scents.
Yeah. And it's not I don't want to denigrate one of my wife's hobbies. It's not incredibly difficult, right? It's
I'm glad you prefaced that before going, by the way, it's not that hard.
No, she also does pottery and stuff, which is very hard in my opinion to do well. But she's if you just sit down and melt some wax and put in some scent and you can get decent working candles fairly easily. So I think probably a lot of people are oh, this is a fun hobby that I get something out of that I can enjoy if I enjoy burning candles. So I recommend candles. I like them.
I mean, I brought up candles, and that's just what it is. We don't go off track sometimes. Agate passive around towers floating in assault short. As a heads up as well, there is also, just for you all at home, smite2.com/bugs. If you send them a bug report into us, it does get added to the list. It doesn't get overlooked.
We really do look at all of those.
Yeah, we really do.
We don't. I will say that we rarely respond, but we do read them all. So,
and they do get looked to be actioned. It just depends on the level and scope of the action that's really needed there.
And sometimes we just get like not even bugs, just people complaining.
I think that's pretty normal too. Yeah. That happens quite a lot where people are just there to want to complain about, fix this god, he's OP.
Yeah, the tab screen not showing rolls consistently is a known bug. That one's just like, I don't know. There's a lot of other UI things that we're working on. I'm not exactly sure why that one hasn't gotten fixed yet, but that has been reported several times, and we are definitely aware of it. Gold Fury Pit is not being illuminated when oracles are taken. In what way? Because I'm pretty sure the ward is getting placed. Is
it just not the highlight on the map? I'll investigate.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. We definitely have heard the feedback about changing the dodge relic rebind to be the normal relic bind, or at least giving you the option.
Yeah, Pomp mentioned it last week.
Yep. So that's on a thing.
Work in progress.
Where's Manny?
He's there. He's still here.
He's just hanging out.
Anyway, on Rank Jazz, we've already discussed Rank Jazz a few times there, Jules. For the most part, it's not coming anytime soon.
Yep.
If you want to recap and see what we talked about with that, just go back and check the YouTube for the past Titan Talk episodes.
Is Yorm AA proc getting fixed today? Is there a specific one that is not working? Because my understanding was that most auto attack
which AA proc are we discussing?
Should be working.
I think that's the hard part, is because people just come in and go, this AA proc, and it's like, there's a lot of potential different things that we call us in that.
Yeah. With Newt being the last character on the SMITE 1 side, she was very visually impressive, and she might be my favorite character gameplay-wise. How difficult is she to port over? Is she heavier on the art side or the mechanical side? My understanding is that gameplay-wise, she's not ultra difficult. You know, it's some unique combinations of abilities, but not a lot of like bespoke tech. Making her hair look the way that it did in SMITE 1 was unique art tech. So there's probably like a decent like tech art lift to her.
Okay.
So I remember like they basically had to create like, I don't even know. I was walked through how it happened, and it's been like 2 years. So it hasn't been that long, but it's been a while. And maybe it's been 2 years.
Probably 2 years. Yeah. Like, time flies. You don't realize.
And I was like, this is so cool at the time. I don't remember the details of it now, but I think it's like there's like a spline with like stuff attached to it, and like, I don't know. It was neat. Golden Blade is proccing at 100%, as is Death's Embrace. Okay. Cool. We can take a look at that real quick.
I love everyone just saves these reports until a day later in Titan Talks.
I have not seen this come in through the
I know.
form, so.
If I come across it, I would have already mentioned it. Like, it's been known. Golden Blade, Death's Embrace.
Will we ever add items that help counter healers in a way that isn't anti-heal? Such as items that debuff, cooldown, steal int and strength, etc. I think those are neat ideas. I think that we're definitely open to additional items that are soft counters to healing, is the way that, basically not percent anti-heal.
Direct anti-heal, yeah.
And I know that in particular, we were talking previously about not having like a good mage item that does this right now. So I think that those are effects that we could definitely consider. I'm not committing to making those items today, but I think that those are things that we could work with.
I think that's part of the problem is everyone's like, are you ever going to do this? And it's like, well, we're still in the early stages of the game anyway. Things will change. We probably will look into further effects like that, or effects that could affect the game.
When the enemy owns oracles, you don't see the red in the sky illuminating it. Okay.
That
might be some of the lighting stuff that we've been working on.
But it's also kind of a competitive advantage of being able to look to the sky to know if a camp's down, which is, it's for the devs to really discuss a little bit more. But I do know people were able to just look at the oracle camp and go, the sky's a different color. I know they've already done oracles, etc., so they don't path that way to check the buff.
Yep. Is there a thought for mana chalice so you don't run out of mana after the blue buff expires? We've definitely heard some people asking for mana chalice and for ward chalice and other things. I would say that in general, Smite 2 is a lot less mana intensive than Smite 1 was.
For sure.
Kind of by design. I think that there are some gods are more mana intensive than others, right? And maybe there is a world where somebody wants a mana chalice. But mostly, I think people would kind of prefer just buying a couple mana pots because you aren't going to need it super long game.
I agree. I'll say, like, basically there's enough mana regen in the game that you will end up going some mana regen in your builds, or your natural mana regen will increase as you level up. So past those first few levels, which is the tricky point for the most part, where people want to see that mana, it probably isn't a mana pot. I do think it's more of a, in a weird way, a noob sink if you were to get that mana chalice, and then have that 15, 20 minutes in the game when you could be getting wards or other effective things, or carrying some of the objectives in the game. I do think it's more of a noob sink than more beneficial than just getting some mana regen. This is me personally, though.
Oh, now this is a bold move.
Dun, dun, dun.
Add movement chalice for short times of boosted movement speed.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think you would have to price that at? Like, because movement speed
just
is
a
like
burst of movement speed.
Movement speed is literally like the strongest stat in the game. Like, people don't believe it.
Two strongest stats in the game, always in Smite 1 and in Smite 2, at least in my opinion, is always movement speed and knockups.
Yeah, knockups are so good because you can't beat them. Yeah.
Exactly, and it doesn't like reduce the length of time on a knockup on a DR, so you are always guaranteed to be knocked up. They're the strongest two. Movement speed has always been a huge thing, and that's why speed buff is always such a proponent in the jungle of, like, if that gets touched, there's drama off the junglers because of their movement. I do think that would be pretty strong, though, to have a consumable for that.
Morgan Le Fay, or excuse me, Aphrodite. Somebody said Morgan Le Fay win as I was reading a question about Aphrodite. Aphrodite stacks the new soul gem almost instantly by spam kissing her allies. Is this an intended interaction? I know it was an interaction that we were aware could happen. I think that we wanted to see if it was like super broken, or how it actually played out.
Yep.
I don't know what the designer's current feeling is on it, but that was an interaction that we knew could occur.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I'm also like, I get it, and she could keep it up permanently, but it does require her to keep kissing people. It's kind of the same way as Giannis putting a threshold down, everyone just walking over it gets stacks. Movement speed, knockups, and flat pen top 3. I guess flat pen can be considered.
Flat pen, yeah, really good. There are some people asking about assault updates. Right now, our design focus is really on Conquest.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we know that Conquest is still not like as exciting as it could be. I think we've made some good progress over the past few updates. But I think that there's just like more that we could do just from a gameplay perspective.
Yeah.
And so we're, and also, a little bit of like art, but not like a complete artwork rework right now. We're focusing more on like, let's figure out the gameplay first. So our current like map flow is, let's focus on Conquest. Let's get Conquest into a really good state. Then we'll make a quick play version of Conquest, because that is something we're still missing. And quick play Joust has done really well for us.
Sure.
And quick play Arena did really well for us. So I think that that's just like a
stepping stone in the right direction.
It's a needed thing, I think, to introduce players to Conquest. So that's.
And the question was about Assault artwork. Was that what it was?
It was a combination. People are like, some people want new artwork. Some people want new, like, they want the side lanes back. They want objectives to fight over. They want, different gameplay shakeups to Assault.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, those are all fair points of feedback. I think we have trouble with that mode saying, like, how do you satisfy the Assault purists and also shake it up? But it just is, we aren't going to get back to it until after
It's going to be a while.
Is all I wanted to get out there.
That's a fair one. Assault players spend more money than Conquest players.
Is that true?
Okay. According to Broker Lower in chat, I'll name them. If that's the case, though, we should be investing more in Assault, right? Surely. That's what we care about.
Was it? Oh, no, it was Joust. Max had a lot of data that, like, Joust was, like, a good mode for us.
Oh, okay. Now you're going to get the ranked Jousters going, see, we need our game back. We're the ones that spend.
I would love to do that. It's just not right now.
Not the time of where we're at is the issue. And I think that's what the community as a whole really, I think, keep harping on this, but it's really, they've all come from Smite 1. They've had all these tools, bells and whistles, and we're still rebuilding a lot of those as time goes on. And there's only a finite amount of time we've got to work on one thing at a time. We have to prioritize them in order. We do want to bring back as many as possible in the long run.
Yeah. Somebody says quick play Assault as a mode of the day would be funny. I don't know what you would even do differently if we play Assault, but it would be funny.
You couldn't speed up much more, I guess, really, could you? I mean, just spooling further.
Start at level
I could
20.
see requests of like a teleporters, like in Assault, it being available immediately, and I'm like, that's one I'll probably talk to the team about, because I agree, just throwing you back in the action, having infinite teleports back to lane just to speed things up, minor stuff like that. How do you guys deal with answering the same question over and over each show? And do you think there's a better way to amplify your answers to the wider community? Being real with you, I don't think there's many of it. Even if you put out a Q&A statement of all the things that we've discussed, people won't look at it and we'll just come into the chats and ask the questions over again. It does get frustrating. I mean, I've been very privileged not to have to do this week in, week out. I will snap eventually and get over it, and you'll all have to witness that. But Kilgoon's been doing it for way longer, and I don't know how you can keep a smile on your face when you go, yes.
I looked it up. It'll be a year on October 4th.
That you've been doing these.
Yeah. So,
crazy.
And obviously
3 a week.
Well, I did miss a couple of weeks with the birth of my son, but other than that, pretty much,
3 a week.
Yeah, I think if you don't like repeating yourself, then you don't like communication.
Fair.
Because people, there's kind of two parts of it. The first one is that like people need to hear something several times before it actually like sinks in. Generally, right? It's like there's statistics that are like, this isn't the exact number because I haven't really thought about the advertising side of the world recently, but like, you need to see an ad like 7 times before you remember having seen it. People need to hear things more than once before they remember it, right? The other one is like, you can't expect every person who even cares a lot about your game to be so tuned in that they see every time you tweet something or every time you say something in a show or, we put out a fact one time that had this thing in it, so we expect everyone to know this now. I think that's something that like we were guilty of a lot in the past. And I think a lot of games, especially like new games that don't really understand how you have to communicate with like gaming audiences, they're like, we put out a tweet about it once, we're done, guys. We don't need to say anything else. Whereas like it used to be when we were like building up to a God release or something with like a teaser campaign, like it wasn't just like one tweet, cool, God's out, right? It was like every day for like 2 weeks, there was something about this God coming out. So that it was like, you can't miss it. You have to be hit over the head with it before you really see it. When will my son be on? Probably not anytime soon. I don't know if he would sit still for that.
I guess the other thing with the questions that you get from people too is that sometimes they already know the answer to the question, but they're trying to poke the bear.
Intersect just asked me to repeat that last answer.
Yeah.
Which
rewind the VOD.
But that's the thing. Like, I think another like really good example of this, like, I don't know how many people in here are radio people. This might be a boomer thing that I still listen to the radio. But
I admit I listen to the radio on the drive to work.
Sure. I do too. And sometimes I listen to a podcast, but I enjoy the radio, right?
Same.
And if you're ever on like a long drive listening to any kind of like talk radio.
The hour repeat.
Exactly. Yeah. Right? You're going to hear the same damn thing over and over and over all day. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how radio hosts have, like right now, the big news in football. I listen to sports talk because I'm a sports guy.
It's Taylor Swift. I'm going to lie, she just got engaged, right? It's the talk of the town.
Travis Kelce. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When she got engaged, I was like, man, Travis Kelce's a big deal. I didn't know that, like, in my world, like Travis Kelce's a way bigger deal than Taylor Swift because I don't live in that world. That's the world you look at. Yeah. Anyway, but like in like the actual sports world of like hardcore sports fans, right? Like yesterday was the date where you had to submit your 53-man roster for football.
Yeah, okay.
So you had to cut down to like, this is the team that we're going to start the season with. And things can still change from here, but and I swear to God, every time I've gotten in my car, it's breaking down the Falcons roster.
The Falcons roster over and over again.
And it's like, they must do it like every hour. They have a different guest on to break down the Falcons roster. And I'm like, oh my God, how many times can you talk about the fact that Caleb and Gary's out for the year? Like, it's just
coming from the world of commentary too. When you commentate video games or whatever, you kind of repeat yourself a hell of a lot there, because every game is the same but different. So you end up going over the same stuff over and over again. So it is kind of part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Taylor Swift came in my mind because it was on my Fire Stick advertised it to me last night at 9:00 on the banner at the top going, they got engaged. And then I'm like, great. All the radio stations this morning are just talk of that. The sports channel and the normal channels are all just Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Good for them.
Good for them.
But
yeah.
Moving on. I don't care enough.
Yeah. Bigger than the royal wedding.
I mean, no one cares about any royal weddings, to be honest.
Yeah.
Americans care about that more than the UK people, to be honest. So
I will say, like, I am happy whenever two people, like,
have found each other.
Yeah, right? And they seem happy together. So I would be happy if, random dude in chat is like...
I got engaged.
Like, dude, good for you. Yeah. I hope you're happy. You
exactly.
know? Like, can we reduce Divine Ruins cooldown to 5 seconds? That seems really low.
Listen, Swish the Boy wants it. So, we'll talk to Dev. We'll see what they have to say about whether 5 seconds seems too low. It seems a little low to me, too.
3 times Worshiper next weekend, please. What do you think? Can we do that?
Let me look into it.
It's a 3-day weekend. 3 times Worshiper for 3-day weekend?
It's my first time turning on the weekend. So let me play with it. I'll give you an update on Friday. But all being well, maybe we'll do some Worshiper bonuses this weekend. If I mess this up, though, give me a break and I'll fix it in the future. But target is there, okay?
Yep.
That's what I'm going to say now. I did have something I could share with chat as well, which we spoke about.
Do you want to get into this?
I think we can go into this. Probably a good segue. We might wait for chat to get some more questions and stuff. So, a lot of the stuff in the back room, we always talk about, we get a lot of reports and people are always complaining about reports and like, do reports get actioned and what goes on the back end for us? Well, we've been working with some tech over the past year for the most part. And I'm put together a little short video to showcase some of it for you all. Because I've been in this world for a little while now where I help in the back end of the report system, keeping an eye on AFKs in games, bad people in chats. You've probably seen me around doing stuff. You wouldn't have seen me around, but that's what I've been doing. Anyway, we work with a...
Lurking behind the scenes.
Lurking behind the scenes, trying to keep the streets clean like a weird, terrible Batman of some kind. But what I did was earlier on this year, I put a small video together to kind of showcase some of the technology we have going on the back end. So you guys can see that we actually do give a shit, because everyone says we don't, first of all. And let me tell you, I work really closely with the customer support team that deals with all your issues and all your reports and stuff like that. So I'm going to showcase a little bit of it. There's a little video here. I'm not showing you the whole system, but this is a little look at some of the stuff we can do on the back end in game. Now, what you're seeing here on the screen is basically we're able to get reports from games. And when we go into these games, we can replay these games in real time and also slow them down to see exactly what goes on in these games for various reasons. So stuff that you're not going to be able to see on this is I just show off, you've got the actual map kind of built out there. That's extra technology at the moment. What we do have on the back end of this is also chat functionality, so I can see everything you scumbags have said in your chat system too.
We do record all chat, guys.
We also have a full combat log of everything that goes on in game.
Yes.
So we can see all this information. Now, what I'm just showcasing you here is just a live sort of preview screen we can go into and how we can kind of move around in the game and showcase what goes on. So what this technology really is just a replay functionality to an extent, but it gives us a lot more detail of exactly what's going in game. You can see us going into first person here where I'm getting a bird's eye view of what the player's playing. So at the moment, I'm kind of looking through the spectator eyes of Poseidon right now, what he can see.
And so by looking back at this, we can see if people are looking through walls directly at people they should not be looking at, or if their aim is snapping to things they shouldn't be snapping to. I was going to
say, you can see a lot of different functionality with how, you can get a lot of an idea of where people are looking on the map and what their visuals are like, and whether their character might just be, snapping to a certain location straight away. Just to be able to hit those targets directly. And obviously, this is just showcase one. The video is kind of a little longer than I probably should have made it, but I've just left it like this. But it's good to kind of showcase what we can see on the back end of things. And this is just more quick little looks at what goes on in these games. And you can actually see people dying in these games. The red light flashing at the moment is kind of an instigation of damage being taken or whatever. And you can just have a little look at that. So this is just a kind of an idea of us being able to showcase some stuff. If I skip forward a little bit, because this is the boring, not really the boring stuff, but I'll showcase why exactly this game was chosen, because for the most part, it was regarding this player that's in base here. So this was flagged by our system automatically to say, hey, Izanami's been AFK for a while. And we get reports of AFK all the time. Now, what we try to do is, investigate those AFKs, and there is stuff that goes on with the AFK system too, where players might have a connection issue at the start of the game or just a slow load in. So we try and have to sometimes manually do this until we can continue to work with the system to train it to catch the correct sort of people here for the most part of like what the issues are. As you can see, this is an army 4 minutes in the game, according to the video, where they're still in base. And we're like, well, are they going to move out of base? Is it just a connection issue? But this is just more of a showcase of what we can see with the map, and you can see what the level of detail we can get to with heat maps on the map too, just to see what's been going on the map. And this is kind of what it looks like without the map built over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really neat tech. This is a company called Get Good.
Yeah, Get Good, who've been working with us really closely for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the video, you can see I've gone 9 minutes into the game, 15 minutes into the game, and this is an army is still in base.
Yeah.
So this would tell us it's less of a connection issue. And to be honest, I know I didn't put this in the video, but it also shows their chat where they go, GG, I'm AFK. But I showcased that one for the simple reason of that person did get punished, and they do get punished in the game. But it also gives us the chance to look at chat logs and see what people reported for. And then also other stuff that goes in the game. So when a lot of people at home are always like, what do we do on the back end? Do reports even get valued? Yeah. They really do. And they do get looked at consistently, and we do a review process. I'm not going to lie, it's not all manual, but there is some manual elements to this that we do go into to check on these reports, and also trying to get to a situation where we can catch them earlier and deal with them even quicker for you
all. Does this track people who just spam abilities and fountain to avoid disconnecting? Yeah, I mean, like, we're not. You aren't fooling the system.
For context, your reports that you send in game do get to us, and then these reports get generated off those reports for us to review those reports and then look to take further action. We do have other tools as well, but this is one of the newer tools that we've been using with this Get Good system that gives us a bit more of a detailed look at what's going on in the games and how we can take correct action to try and, reduce frustration, toxicity in the game. I know a lot of people have been complaining that we've not been really giving those report messages of like, well, I report and I don't hear anything. Yeah. But at the same time, you just understand in a weird way we are doing stuff. Yeah. These people aren't getting away with murder consistently, and people do get suspensions and bans. Yep. It's pretty regularly.
And what are the consequences for bans? Is it a ramping system where punishments get more severe? Yeah, usually it depends on what the offense is. Yeah. But yes, usually like
it is a ramping ban system.
It is a ramping ban system where you're banned for a period of time and then a longer period of time, and then eventually you're perma banned.
Correct. And it does scale over time. So like, your first report, your first offense, you might get a couple days ban. Your second offense, you're probably getting longer, another offense, or maybe 2, depending on what your offenses were. May see you with a permanent ban on your account.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to read some of these. And
I'm guessing we would have sent this off now on the world of like cheats and questions.
And a lot of the details about like how we handle bans and stuff aren't things that we can really talk about in much more detail than what we've talked about here, because like it could be used by bad actors to avoid being banned or to do certain things. So a lot of the questions are being asked right now. It's not that I'm not wanting to answer them. It's just that like we can't answer.
The more information we give away, the more opportunity people have to navigate our system to try and reduce the chance of them getting caught and abuse it. That's why even with the video I just kind of showcased you there, I removed a lot of the data that we can actually see on what's going on in those games, just because we don't want to have bad actors potentially get more involved. But I do want to showcase to you all at home that we do care about that, and we are actually actively doing it. And I feel really bad for the team that like day to day deals with reports and the systems team, because they don't get a lot of credit, and they also get shunned a lot of the time. Like, they're not doing anything. They really are. They're grinding consistently on trying to make sure the game is in a much better state. So,
any leaks today? No, but on
Friday,
we're going to talk about the next 2 gods after Tsukuyomi. Cool. Just give you like a little preview of who's coming down the pipe. Nice. Because we will not have a show on Monday because it is Labor Day. And I will not be laboring.
You won't be laboring on Labor Day.
Yes.
That makes sense. It does add up.
And is Tsukuyomi shipping with an aspect? I can tease that there is an aspect for Tsukuyomi.
In the works
that we are expecting will ship, but there's always a chance that it might not.
Okay. I was like, is he going to confirm this?
I'm 99% sure it's going to ship, but there's always a chance that it doesn't quite get
No, sure, it might get delayed a little bit or changed even.
But I think it's been doing pretty decently in playtesting, and I think people seem like it's in the right direction. So probably.
Can you please add a casual mode for Conquest with adding ban draft pick from rank? I do like the idea of trying to do a system like that, but at the same time, it kind of splits the player base again because the hard part is a new god comes out and you need a queue to be able to go into and play these new gods that come out rather than having a system where bans are available because people will just ban that stuff. I do get the idea of it's kind of like a segue into more competitive rank play by having a pick and ban option. But at that point, you just got to bite the bullet and play ranked.
I think that the one interesting piece of feedback that, because we've had questions about this like in the early days of Titan Talk, and I think the one interesting piece of feedback I got from people about why they thought that this was a good thing was particularly people that didn't want to play mirror matchups,
which is fair.
And Dota does something interesting where it's like if two people, it's like blind pick.
Yeah.
But if two people select the same god, then or hero, whatever it's called in Dota, it randomly selects one of them to have it, and the other one has time to pick another god to replace it. So it's just kind of like a coin flip if both people pick the same character.
That sounds good, but then there's also the frustration of like, okay, cool, I finally got my role. I finally got the new god that I want to play.
And then it's like,
and the enemy team got it too, and I lost. Yeah. What the hell? And then you got to wait longer. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's a interesting. I think there's some interesting stuff around it, but I think that like really just play ranked if you really want that kind of experience. If someone is being toxic, at what point is it an actionable offense versus the report being disregarded for someone saying something like "you're bad"? I think that like this is one of those things where it's like to some extent there's like it's nebulous, right? It's like, but you know it when you see it. If you read a chat log, if you read enough chat logs, it's pretty clear when somebody is like being abusive versus like
saying you're bad versus saying I can't even say the words on air, but there's definitely things that you can say in game that are going to flag much higher than you're bad. Getting a report for you're bad is not going to get you banned.
Probably not.
Because everyone is bad. Like, that's pretty much the honesty. Like, I don't think I've ever met a player of SMITE that's good.
But I will say, we've run statistical analysis on this before. Mm-hmm. And games where, like, if you're saying to your teammates, like, how badly they're doing, you're going to lose.
Shock.
People are not inspired to play well and be successful by being yelled at.
Inspiration is the key there, Like, but the other thing, there's two ways of it, right? There's the one where you just say the enemy to your teammates, you're bad, or you're trying to give advice. But everyone on the internet takes advice as being sarcastic and like downtrodden, so you take that as a negative too. This is why when people talk about having chat, I'm like, you don't want chat. VGS is the best way.
Pawn says this is why we need all chat, so I can yell at the enemy team so they lose.
That's not how this works. Instead, what you'll do is you'll cross talk about how bad your teammates are with the enemy team of like, let's just say the high level players, right? You get two high level players, one on each team, and they're just going to be salty about their teammates complaining about, oh, well, you got that guy on your team, All chat is not good, guys.
A smiley on the end makes it read better. Yeah, it's like, but people.
No, it doesn't.
People are so. Have you considered dying less? Smiley face, like
exactly. Like, sarcasm with anything.
People are just mean. Like, and like to some extent, that's multiplayer gaming is always going to have a level of like competitive intensity that can spill out in like angry language.
You're playing a competitive game where you are randomly teamed up with up to 4 other people. Yeah. And you are asked to an assignment to win this game. You have to achieve it as a group. Yeah. But then you disagree with the decisions of people making the game, and then you'll also find blame elsewhere because you did nothing wrong. And then it just spirals. Yeah. It's just always going to spiral. Any game, but MOBA kind of showcases it more than like, let's just say an FPS. Because an FPS game will be like, you died, you're 3 and 40. You know what I mean? Like the deaths are the only real column of like whether you did something right or not. Whereas in a MOBA, you get to watch your teammates a lot longer and go, look at this guy play. Man, he's not great. Yeah. If I give him some advice now, will he be better for it, or will I just call him a noob and move along? Yeah. I complain about matchmaking.
Yeah, and it's interesting, like the course of multiplayer gaming over like the last 30 years or whatever, right? Because it used to be that like team stuff was more the exception than the rule, right? And most of the successful multiplayer games were like single player,
Yeah.
Or, 1 versus 1 or like free for all kind of thing.
Fighting games are a good example.
Yeah,
of that,
fighting
right?
games
Yeah.
or, like real-time strategy games or whatnot, right? But people like being able to blame their teammates for and not have to be introspective.
Exactly.
I am not good enough at this game.
I'm not bad. It's my friends that are bad. You know?
It's interesting the way psychology works on that. But did you miss any Tsukiyomi info? No, you did not. Tsukiyomi will have a full reveal next Wednesday, so a week from today.
Okay.
And then
it's so quick. Because I feel like we literally just got off the back of Yom. I'm not used to the pace of these shows where I'm like,
it's crazy
every 2 weeks. But then when you think every 2 weeks they have
every 2 weeks is really fast.
Crazy.
It's very fast.
Yeah. Especially when you think about Smite 1 was like at the heyday was once a month.
Yeah.
And it's every 2 weeks so far, which is crazy.
And most months where we were doing, or most years where we did like once a month or once every 2 months, like there were still times where we wouldn't hit that. It would be
every 2 months would be a God release. And
every 2 months, and then like, we didn't quite get that one. We'll get to the next one. You know, like it happens.
We both say going, what can we find in chat?
Tough to read.
I came here and had to remake my Twitch account just to say Smite Prime on Saturdays has been amazing. Cool. Yeah, Smite Prime, if you I'm going to segue into that real quick. Smite Prime, it's always on at the weekends. Every Saturday there's a tournament over in North America. Europeans can play too, and the rest of the world where you can compete for cash prizing every single month. I believe this week coming up is the final weeks where you'll see the top teams. Players like Paul and the up-and-comers are all still actively playing in that, so make sure you check it out at the weekend every Saturday. And you guys can also get involved too in the coming weeks. Keep an eye out at SmitePrime.com.
What's your favorite SNES game?
SNES game. Oh gosh, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
Do you call it? Is that how it's said over here? SNES.
Yeah,
we're lazy.
Yeah,
SNES.
SNES.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a SNES.
Okay.
I mean, it was probably Mario.
Well, and it was the Mega Drive instead of the Genesis over there.
Correct.
Right?
It was called Mega Drive.
Yeah,
The Sega Mega. Well, just short to Mega Drive. Yeah. And Master System.
Yeah, we had Master System. It was still called Master System.
Master Mega Drive. Yeah.
Yeah, we just had the Genesis.
They were the names. But the SNES, I mean, Mario was probably the biggest one on that.
Yeah.
Because that first Mario game was really good. OG Mario Kart was really good too. So, I wasn't as big of a SNESy kid, but I was a Sega kid.
Okay.
So I didn't get to play on the Nintendo as often.
I feel like that generation of RPGs were just like so good. Like
the RPG system on SNES, they
like
had the best RPGs.
Chrono Trigger was insane. Final Fantasy 2/4 and 3/6 were great.
Yeah.
Like the first, I mean, it's not the first Legend of Zelda, but Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I think was just like so groundbreaking. Like there's so many good SNES games. I think that it might be like arguably the best system of all time. But
the SNES, I mean, it was a huge jump for a lot of stuff back then. Yeah, I was a real Sega kid though. Streets of Rage, that sort of thing.
Yeah, those are good.
Golden Axe.
Yeah,
one of the greatest games.
Love Golden Axe.
But that was on multi-systems too.
Super Metroid. Yeah, how did I not think of Super Metroid? Yeah.
I was gonna say that should have been the first thing out your mouth.
Yeah, I love Metroid.
I know that's what I'm like.
Metroid. I don't know. I was thinking about the RPGs. When I think about SNES, I think about like, I think about those. But Symphony of the Night was PlayStation 1.
Say that again?
Says Curiosite says Symphony of the Night, which was PlayStation 1.
It was PS1.
Speaking of groundbreaking, Myst was the GOAT. Myst was great.
What about Atari? I had a Commodore 64. That's how old I am. Where you used to have a cassette tape, which a lot of people might not even know what a cassette tape is, where you'd load the game onto a computer and hit play to get the game to load. Those were good games back then. Original Football Manager was on those back then. Championship Manager was called.
I remember playing like Commander Keen, like early id Software before they made like Wolfenstein.
I remember playing a marbles game with bouncing marbles.
All right, we'll get back to Sorry. People are complaining.
What are you going to talk about?
Can we make the match has been deserted message be smaller or disappear after some time? Yeah, we've gotten this feedback. Definitely something we can explore. We aren't committed to, needing to stay that big for the rest of the game, but we just don't want it to like completely go go away. Yeah.
Hiccups. Drink that Alani. Alani cures hiccups.
That should be the marketing.
I'm just putting these out so we can get clips together. I know you've been after that deal for a while now, so.
If only. Can we get more exciting Twitch drops? It's been warning market coins for months now. apart from that 1 week Dark Heart Zeus dropped, and I'm sitting on 26k coins already. So
you're telling us just to stop the coins, is what he's saying, right? Or they're saying, I should say.
Yeah, I think that it's not that it's like, it's hard to find things that are good to drop that we are comfortable dropping on a regular basis that aren't, I would like us to continue to do like interesting drops every once in a while, but it's not like there's going to be, a skin every week or anything, right? We just don't have the amount of content to be able to do that. And we don't, once you start doing things like that too often, then it's not interesting either. Right?
I also feel like he's kind of directed at a specific, like let's just say the Zeus one, for example. At least with the coins, you get to use them in a direction that you're going to play rather than being forced into like, this skin is the only thing we're going to get this month. Instead, you can invest them elsewhere. You could drop diamonds, or we could,
but that would...
I don't think that makes very good business sense, guys, on a free-to-play game.
We give you guys a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of free diamonds
already.
Make
a little bit of money here.
Please.
Let's see. There was a...
I play Smite daily. Why am I getting ads for it? Well, listen, we're doing ads. I'm sorry you're getting them if you already play Smite, but that's a good thing. We're advertising.
Yeah. You just must be a Reddit super user if you're getting ads. We're still, we're still in the very early stages of experimenting with that. So we're, we'll see how this continues to
evolve. Everyone's been saying for a long time we've not been doing ads, and now people are complaining we're getting ads. And I'm like, listen, I'd rather get ads than not, in my opinion.
I will say Reddit does not allow us to like exclude our current fan base in the same way that some other networks do.
Yeah.
So you're probably more likely to see an ad as an existing player on Reddit than you would if we were running this testing on another platform. But the interesting thing is that this new technology that we're using, because ads, you want to be able to attribute and see like how many people came to the game after they saw the ad, right? And one of the things that this new attribution software we're using can do is it also can track like win back. So people that
have played previously.
Yeah, if you've played previously, but you haven't played in 30 days, and then you come back after seeing an ad and play the game. And we've actually been seeing a lot of like win back in addition to new installs as a result of these ads. It's almost been like 50-50.
Which is good, because you want both those things, really. You want the returning Smite 1 players, and you want the people that may have tried it out earlier on to come back and give it a shot.
Because the game just keeps getting better. I think we're going in the right direction here. This post about Thanatos ult not triggering a lot of item effects when he lands. We did get a really long bug report sent to us about that. And I know Pawn responded to that bug report message in our Slack. So I'm not sure if that's all getting fixed or whatnot, but we're definitely at least aware of it.
I'll just make a note real quick.
It just came in the last day or two, so it was pretty recent. I thought you did. You heard your name. The Thanatos ult not triggering a bunch of things. I thought that you responded to that one.
Is it? Can we just summon devs by just talking their names?
Clumsy. A few of the devs will listen to us in the background.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can't.
I did see Kellen in here earlier, just saying he was looking over a few things. So.
Smite cart. Just say Smite cart and he will appear.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
That's funny.
I didn't think about that one.
Let's see. Now chat just wants Smite cart. I've seen this one before too. Definitely something we could take a look at. It's can we make the pause window a different style or color to stop it from being mixed up with surrender?
I get that argument. It's a minor thing, but it's a good idea to maybe just reposition it. Maybe even I don't know, but I get the thought because it does look like the same pop up. Although to be honest, I'm getting it like 5 minutes in the game, which is generally when a pause would happen. It's definitely early on before you can do that window.
Will we ever see gods from indigenous American folklore, such as Inuit, Navajo, etc., or would it be considered too problematic and not worth the extra effort that could be spent on other gods? I would say we've had that conversation internally in the past about different gods from, kind of Native American indigenous people. And I don't think we're completely opposed to it, but I think it's one of those things that we would need to be very careful that we do properly. and we would just need to make sure that we find like an expert, and I don't want to say like get approval from the group, but like we would probably want to like
making sure the direction isn't offensive. It's a tricky
a little bit of a.
I know we do that with the Hindu gods that we've already released. I think the thing is, if we're building new gods, which is a ways out in my mind,
I think
trying to get down that path.
It's a little bit easier to do with Hindu than it is with Native American groups, because like there's a lot of really common depictions of the Hindu gods.
Yeah, whereas some of the older ones, older gods not as much.
It's like less agreed upon about like what the correct accepted interpretation is, and then also just like fewer people of that group, so harder to find like an expert usually.
Makes sense.
Like lasagna needing a vegetarian prism. Gotcha. Okay. A friend got interrupted while pulling in a bell on Bari, and the bell followed him around like a pet until he died. Yeah, this is a long-standing rare bug that's kind of hard to lock down exactly what causes it to happen.
I thought it'd been cleaned up more already, but maybe there's further, or this is an older report.
Yeah, and it doesn't it doesn't really affect gameplay. I don't think. I think it's more just like a visual thing. So we have looked at it, but we'll continue looking at it.
Well, the SMITE 2 team grow as the player base continues. I would say I should read the whole thing. Will the SMITE 2 team grow as the player base continues to grow, so we get more content at a faster rate? I'd expect it would grow as the game grows. Would make the most sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like
but as needs must.
Yeah, if the revenue and the need justify it, then something like that can definitely happen.
I think everyone's just got bells out, like it's over, and it's not the case at all. It's just we're still in the early stages of SMITE 2 to an extent, and I expect to see the game continue to grow
for sure. And like people act like I'm making stuff up whenever I say it, but like we've been growing pretty steadily over the past couple months. It's not like super sharp increase, right? But if you look at like a lot of games when they as they grow over time, it's very rare that you get like a super sharp spike, unless it's like, I don't know, a game that hasn't been updated in years suddenly gets an update, or they announce that they're doing something else in the universe and it brings people back to it, or there's a TV show, or like things like that can sometimes lead to like a spike. But normally it's like these games just kind of bit by bit build up over time, and that's kind of more of our strategy. Like we aren't holding releases and then doing like big patches.
Because in theory we could hold releases for 3 months and go, here's your 3 month update and here's all the stuff we're going on. But we've gone for a different cycle approach, really. We need a SMITE TV show then. Hey, if you guys want to make one and get it out there, I'm down. Wouldn't mind seeing it.
Will you play Silksong? I will almost certainly play it, yes. Is the PlayStation Plus game of the month SMITE 2's Ace Up the Sleeve? I would say I don't know if that has the same like power that it once did. I think there's just like so many free games out there that like it's hard to say that like, oh hey, look, here's another one. Like it doesn't really move the needle the way it used to. Like being in Game Pass definitely helped drive awareness of the game on Xbox. Being in any kind of promotion thing helps drive awareness, but it's not like this is the the single thing that's going to change everything, right? It doesn't really work that way anymore. Did a big scary snake appear while I was gone? Yeah, Jormungandr yesterday.
He is out and available.
It was kind of funny that I didn't even realize this. I think it was Blues Ultra's tweet that that referenced it, where it's like 2 snakes in the same day, because the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater also came out on the same day. So it's kind of a funny.
Yeah, we timed that intentionally, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
That was definitely yours.
Any plans of participating in game conventions like DreamHacks or PAX? participating in conventions is, generally speaking, very expensive for relatively limited outcome. If you look at the number of people that attend a convention, or even more specifically, like you can do the math. If your demo takes X minutes and you have X stations times the amount of time that the convention is open, the number of people that are actually going to get to play your game versus the cost to attend, it rarely makes sense. There are certain games that, they think that it is a good strategy. Most of the live service games have pulled back from doing conventions because they don't really do much for you other than create a public, like, look at us kind of thing. So if you were looking for some kind of like external validation that this is a game that people should care about, like, it can make your execs feel good when they walk in and see this big pretty booth that they spent $1 million on, but
it doesn't move as much as like just ads to the general public, nationally or internationally.
Literally, if I just ran ads on TikTok, with the same amount of money, I would probably get 10x return, maybe 20 or 30x return, the cost of being at a convention. I think there's, for some games it makes sense, but just not really for our kind of game. Is Titan Talk just for your higher ups to see what you're doing?
Yeah, Kilgoon, is Titan Talks just for our higher ups to see what we're doing?
No, it's literally just for us to talk to the
community.
Because
if that's the case, we don't need to do the show anymore.
No, I mean, like,
we'll end the show now.
Yeah, it's like there aren't too many higher ups left other than us. It's like
no, I wouldn't class myself as a higher up, but you sure.
Yeah, like, I mean, Erez owns the company.
Yep.
He's kind of the only other person that we need to talk to.
These shows honestly is for the community to realize we give a shit.
Yeah.
Like the staff that work in the game do care. They do want to make the best game possible. We are regularly updating with stuff that's coming down the pipe of what's up next, why we're working on it, and even being transparent of why some stuff is taking a while longer than you may not have expected. I think this show does a really good job of that. I'll be honest, it kind of goes back to the earlier point of repeating yourself over and over again. But this is just our forward face to the community to make them aware we give a shit about the game. We are continuing to make strides in the right directions wherever possible. We're not always perfect and things do go wrong, and we're kind of open about that too. Yeah. So, yeah.
One thing that I was really hoping was going to be in the next update, but is not now, is we're working on overhauling the match lobby.
I would have said that myself because it looks a lot better. It's getting better.
We're doing away with that design completely.
Yeah.
So we're going back to the drawing board again because we think that there's some core issues with that redesign and we can make it even better.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I was teasing that, like, hey, we got some lobby stuff in the work. And it's not going to be in the next update now because we're going to take a little bit more time to make it better.
Which is a good thing to say,
So
it shows that we're actively developing a game almost and like changing stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I went to talk to Danny this morning about some of the changes because I was like, I'm so sorry that we wasted time going down this path. And he's like, no, dude, that's game development. Like, you got to try stuff and see if it works. And then if it doesn't work,
roll
then
it back,
you do it again, right?
And
I think that, like, there's a lot of improvements in this current version of the match lobby, but there's a few things that it's just like, I don't think we can solve it with this design. So we're moving some widgets around and hopefully making it better.
So in the works is lobby overhauls.
In the works, yeah. I guess that's kind of a teaser.
I was going to say, well, it's now 1:58, which is time for
one more question.
Dun, dun, dun. I can't believe I got roped into saying these.
I know. It's so fun, though.
We'll make our own eventually, for sure. But one more question does work. So before we wrap it up for the day, a reminder, there'll be probably a couple more hotfixes coming out later on this afternoon. You'll see an update of just what hotfixes have been gone through so far. And then Friday, y'all will be able to see, or we'll discuss the upcoming roadmap for the next couple gods.
Yep. This is just a minor question of, like, is everything scrapped completely, or will we be able to salvage some of those assets? No, it's not like a complete, like, everything that we've worked on for the lobby so far is scrapped, right? It's more just like part of the way that the layout of the UI was looked good in mock-ups, but in execution, I think it got a little bit busier than We wanted it to get, and just like what was supposed to be a simplification ended up kind of making it a little bit more overwhelming in some ways. So we just have a new path that we think should make it simpler. Doesn't require like redoing a ton, just maybe a couple new widgets, and should be good.
Any plans on designing a new Titan Talk logo with Hinge's face? No, I have a face for camera. I say a face for audio. Is kind of how I feel about it. But no, it's not really top priority. Maybe we'll change some stuff as time goes on. You got a Yorm on there recently, so maybe we'll update it with each god.
Along you check. I have a cherry twist today. And
water once again.
Water.
Not a question, but I love Hinduman's dryness and bluntness in contrast to Kilgoon's wholesome makes the show better. Well, I mean, obviously Isaiah was a fantastic person, but he was way too nice to you.
He's very nice,
but
he's just such a nice dude.
Like, in general, like Isaiah's one of the goats of all time working for SMITE. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
But I think with me, I'm a gamer like you nerds are for the most part. So half the crap that you guys say, I sometimes feel the same way, but also see it from the company side of what's going on and know things are going on too. You'll like me some days and you'll hate me others, because I will just tell you straight.
I got one more quick one, just because it's a fun one that I can tease something else a little bit.
So I'm not allowed to tease anything, but you're allowed to tease.
Do you want to tease this one?
Fair? I don't know what it is.
This here. Do you know about
just
this
read
one?
it out. What was the question?
Any plans on doing more thematic events with interactable objects on the map, like the 4th of July event?
I'm going to say yes, because he wants to tease something. I don't know what it is. But what is it, Kilgoon? Tell us more.
Yeah. In the next update, there's going to be the start of an event that does include some of that.
Oh, okay. I did see that question earlier and was like, I do know that's coming down.
That's all I got.
But I think that is it for us, unless I can find anything else last minute. No. Jazz band soon. No, jazz band soon. That's what will be my final answer. Thank you all for tuning into Titan Talks today. Friday, we will go over some of the new gods coming to SMITE 2.
Yeah.
And give
next
you
two gods.
Updates. The next two gods.
After Suki.
After Suki. So it's Suki plus 2.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll let you know what those all are. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on the battlegrounds. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.